so fine and waiting.
Hello everyone, my name is Monica. Welcome or welcome back to the channel. I know it has been a while since I've been on here and I've been pretty inconsistent. Been uploading probably maybe once a month, if that, and I just wanted to come on here and first of all talk about the subject of the video, which is the title, but also just I wanted to let you guys know that the reason I've been pretty MIA is just, to be perfectly honest, I've just been having a hard time, like, just in life in general. It's not that anything specific has happened, it's just, I don't know, I feel very lost, very directionless, unsure of myself, second guessing myself, and just not feeling motivated to do the things that I have as a priority to do. Everything just kind of feels like an obligation. And of course, just busy with life and stuff, but I don't know. I heard today, a friend told me that it was the eclipse is happening, and I think something about their Scorpio season, and I don't know anything really about astrology, so I can't really say, but I think something with astrology is happening that I'm sure I'm not alone, that there's other people who have just been feeling like they've been struggling emotionally and regulating their emotions and just trying to keep grounded in their physical body like I have. But anyways, I'm so glad to be back. I'm glad I haven't fully given up on the channel. And for those of you watching, if you new, thank you for clicking on this video. I know it was a bit of a weird intro, and if you're coming back, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate you. Okay, so what I want to talk about today, and I just want to say this too, and I think I've said this in another video before, is that when I come on here, it's basically like me talking to me. Like, it's like me giving myself advice. Like, I've had these downloads or these epiphanies or these thoughts, and I'm not much of a writer. I really, really dislike the act of physically writing. It's too slow for me. Like, my brain goes too fast for my hand, and so I get frustrated. And making video diaries, in a sense, has been a lot easier, even though it's weird because I'm putting it on YouTube, which is a public platform for people to come and judge me and critique me if they want. But that's okay. I felt from the beginning that I wanted to start sharing on a platform, specifically here, my thoughts about things in life, especially spiritual things and law of attraction. And because I've had some people tell me that this has really helped them, some of the things that I share by just being like open and honest and vulnerable, and they've asked me to keep sharing. And so I feel like, well, you know, if it is helping at least one person, then why not do it? Hold on, it is way too Oh, sorry, it was really hot in here. I had to open some windows, but I'm in an RV park, so I feel kind of self-conscious, but we're gonna get past that. Anyways, so yeah, so I'm gonna keep sharing on here. So the thoughts that came to me today that I've been thinking about for a little while, which the title of this video is, I think I'm gonna call it something like, are you worthy of what you already have? And I know that sounds a little bit strange, but this is what I mean by that. There are a lot of us, I think, including myself, that have felt a ton of guilt for what they currently have or have had or will get. And that's to say, all of us, I think, are privileged in different ways. Some of us are really close to our families, and our families are still alive, and we get along with them great, or at least some members. Oh, gosh. I'm just like having issues today. Okay. Or or at least get along with some of those family members. Some of us have a great group of friends and a very supportive community. Others may have a great job that they love, that they make a good amount of money at, or some people may live in a place that they absolutely love, like maybe they love to hike or they love to swim, and they have mountains and trails, or they have oceans and lakes and rivers. I mean, there's all sorts of ways that people can be considered privileged with things that maybe other people might envy or might be grateful for if they had those things. And I feel like it can be difficult for us when using the law of attraction, those of us who intentionally practice it, to manifest more things intentionally that we want when we don't quite feel grateful for what we have. And it's not that like we're ungrateful in the traditional sense where we're just kind of a spoiled brat and entitled and feel like we deserve everything handed to us. It's more of a, like I said before, feeling guilty about having certain things because maybe other people don't have them and they want them. Hopefully this is making sense. So like, for instance, for me, my life is far from perfect. I'm definitely not happy all the time, and I'm not always super high vibe and like grounded and super spiritual. Like, you know, you may see me on these videos when I'm in usually a pretty good mood. Um, I'm working through it just like everyone else. I'm trying to figure out things in life and navigate the best way that I can. But I know I'm not perfect, and I know I don't know everything, but I'm still here. I'm doing my thing the best that I possibly can. But there are things in my life, for instance, like I came from a very, I guess you could say, humble background where I was homeless for years, off and on as a kid with my mom, as a teenager more so. And I watched my mom struggle, and I watched her work really hard and not be able to, you know, pay bills or make ends meet being a single parent. And so I was just always used to a life of struggling. And it's like we're kind of taught that that is like virtuous, to always kind of be struggling and being like a martyr and sacrificing for everyone else. And so now that I'm at this point in my life where it's like completely the opposite of that, where I am more abundant than I've ever been financially. I don't have to work a job. I've been working a job since I was 14 for like 10 years straight. While I was in high school, while I was in college, nonstop, full time or more, taking on extra shifts. I worked really hard, and I wasn't making much money, and I wasn't able to make my bills or ends meet. Just like, you know, how I experienced with my mom. I was living the same pattern. And then I happened to fall in love with somebody who does make a good amount of money in like a corporate job, and I am comfortable in the sense of I don't have to work, and now I get to travel full time. I manifested that, and other things. I mean, I know my life is not ideal to everyone. Like, it's not something everyone wants, that's for sure, but it's something that I wanted for a long time, and I still want. And it's like I realized just recently that I have so much guilt about all of the good things that I have, that I feel like I should be grateful for. And so it's hard to experience, or it's difficult to experience gratitude when it's overshadowed by guilt. And I know there are, you know, a lot of us, again, who are like me, who are empaths, who are very compassionate people who want to help other people and help the world and just, you know, make the world a better place. We tend to feel guilty whenever we are abundant in whatever sense of the word. If you have an abundance of love and good friendships or family or relationships or money or experiences, because we know that not everyone gets those opportunities. And maybe we have loved ones around us who constantly share with us how they might feel miserable because they're lacking that romantic relationship, or they're lacking the money or the resources they need. And sometimes we may have that, like, well, why me? Why do I get to have all these things and they don't? And we like to share, but there's only still so much sharing we can do. It's like we can't do all the work for other people. We can't solve all of their problems as much as we may try. And so, again, this may lead us to not manifesting what we want more. It's like a blockage we have because the guilt is the block. Because if we can't feel gratitude for what we already have, then we're not going to attract more things that we're grateful for. And because gratitude is a huge piece of the law of attraction. It's like if you feel grateful for what you already have, essentially, then you'll attract more things. Like you may not even feel like you need those things. You just be like, oh, well, it would be nice if I, moved to Florida, or it'd be nice if I inherited $50,000. But it's not something that you feel like you absolutely need, that you're so attached to, that there's this desperation. Because the more you think and say, I really, really want this thing, the more the universe hears, I really don't have this thing. And then we keep manifesting not having it. And I know all of this sounds like a catch-22, and it sounds so simplistic yet so complex at the same time. And it seems on like a knowledgeable theoretical level that it should be pretty easy to wrap our heads around and just do. But it's not always so easy, especially when we haven't done shadow work with our subconscious, finding out what those beliefs that we have ingrained in us below the surface, or even feelings that we didn't realize we were having. Like, I didn't realize I was having so much guilt until recently. It kept coming up with different things. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's why I have such trouble feeling gratitude. It's not because I'm selfish. It's not because I am ungrateful and spoiled and entitled. It's because I feel guilty that I have so much. And I try so hard to like give and give and give and give in every capacity that I can, whether it's physically or I'm emotionally, supportive of someone, or I'm giving them advice, or I'm just a safe space to listen. It's like I give and I just feel like I can't give enough. And I give and give until I'm depleted and burnt out. And then if I try to give that same love, same time and energy to myself, then I feel guilty for spending it on myself when I could be helping someone else. But then I had to ask myself, why do I believe every single other person in the world is worthy of having what they want, manifesting what they want, living the life, the dream life that they want, that other people should be giving them what they want. But I'm not privy to the same kindness. Logically, it doesn't really make sense. But that's what happens with low self-worth. And that's something that I'm working through. But the first step is just recognizing it and admitting it, and then digging deeper down, doing more shadow work, and figuring out, well, why do I have such low self-worth? What happened in my life that I feel I'm not worthy of the things that I already have? And the way that I also look at it too is that they say the universe doesn't really want anything for anyone, that it's neutral. It just responds to your vibration, which I do believe. But if you believe you're worthy of something, then you could basically say that the universe does want you to have that thing, because we are the universe. And if we want it, then it is so. It's like if you believe you can or you can't, whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. So it's really all up to our beliefs. So you could have the belief that the universe wants people like us, like I said, people who are generous, to become wealthy and abundant financially, and financial freedom, so that we can start to acquire more of the financial wealth versus the 1%. If it was more in the hands of people who were generous, then they would most likely be more generous with their money. I talked about this a little bit in the video, Is Money the Root of All Evil? But I wanted to reiterate that again for this video, that if generous people are more wealthy, then they can spread that wealth more. Or maybe at least they would have more time to work on something that they're passionate about that would help other people. And even if they're doing something that's not considered traditionally like helping someone directly, the more people we have living their passion, doing their passion, living their purpose, the higher the vibration is going to raise on the planet, which is going to affect literally everyone since we're connected. So in a way, it's just like a win-win situation. It's not really being selfish to have what you want, to be happy, to be abundant, to be wealthy, especially when you're going to have more time and energy and money to circulate that, like I said, is out of the 1% hands. There is more than enough money, love, resources. There's more than enough of whatever it is that you want. So we don't have to feel guilty that if we get more of something, then someone else isn't going to get it. There's just so much abundance in the world. And there's tons and tons of money that's printed all the time. It's not something that we have to create out of thin air. It's already here. And we can have access to it. But first, we have to choose to work on our self-worth and feeling worthy of what we already have. It's like that, I don't know if it's Shania Twain or Sheryl Crow lyrics that I love to quote. It's not getting what you want, it's wanting what you've got. So once you want what you've got, once you value what you got, once you feel worthy of what you already have right now in this moment, and really work towards that by not feeling guilty for having it, well then that's just icing on the cake. You're just going to get more and more and more and more of those things. And you would feel like even if you didn't get any more than what you have right now, that would be just fine. Because you're in the present moment and you're grateful for it all. All right, that's my video for today. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, I hope to see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.